A production of Flint Energies, your local touch-tone energy cooperative. Front Porch Chats brings you along while we share interesting events, places to go, important programs, and hidden gems located in Central and Southwest Georgia. Grab a glass of iced tea while we chat for a spell. Today, I am joined by one of my personal coworkers in our communications department. Blair Brown, our cooperative communications specialist, is with us today to talk about a really awesome program that we have at Flint Energies called Bright Ideas. And it's all for our teachers out there who we absolutely love, and we really enjoy supporting them and showering them with gifts and goodies whenever we're able to. And you're going to love Blair and everything that she has to say. So first, Blair, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. And why don't you introduce yourself to our listeners so that they know a little bit about what you do at Flint, and then we'll talk some more about the Bright Ideas program.
Sure. So this is my 6th year at Flint Energies in the communications department. And in my position, I do all of our internal communications. I design our Energy Lines member newsletter that goes out in our monthly magazine, Georgia Magazine. I do a lot of photography and videography and social media, but a large part of my position is community relations with education and youth programs. And some of those include Bright Ideas, our Full Steam Ahead grant, Imagine That middle school art contest, our college scholarships, Washington Youth Tour, and then, of course, our Spark Energy education program.
That's a lot.
It is.
You're a busy lady.
I love it.
And Blair really does love it. That's exactly what I was going to say, is if you haven't had the chance to meet Blair in person yet, she is one of the most passionate people I've ever met about what she does, of course, but specifically about education within the cooperative world. She is always advocating for these programs and does so much with it throughout our service area. And you're going to love her as much as I do, I think, by the end of this. So, Blair, can we start out by let's give them like a broad overview of what the program is. So, what is the Bright Ideas grant exactly?
Sure. So the Bright Ideas Grant Program is sponsored by the Flint Energies Foundation and Flint Energies, and it awards money to teachers for innovative lessons and projects that energize learning in their students. And this program has been at Flint since 2006, and since then we have given nearly $350,000 to fund projects reaching more than 12,000 students in Middle Georgia.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's growing. Yeah.
I mean, when you really think about how much good that puts out there, and that's a lot of different school systems that we touch. So don't assume that that's just one or two counties. I mean, we go to a lot of different counties to award these grants.
Yeah, absolutely. That covers 17 counties that Flint serves. And I mean, we're talking Bibb, Chattahoochee, Crawford, Dooley, Harris, Houston, Marion, Monroe, Muskogee, Peach, Sly, Sumter, Talbot, Taylor, Twiggs, and Upson.
That's awesome. All right, so we just covered all those counties that are in our service area. So what does that mean in terms of eligibility and anything else that makes somebody eligible to apply? So if they're in those counties teaching, they're eligible, right?
Correct. So to be eligible to apply for a Bright Ideas grant through Flint, they have to, one, teach at a school, public or private school within our service territory, and be in grades pre-K through 12.
Awesome. So let's see. What about the 2024 application process? What should teachers know about what that process looks like? I feel like a lot of times when people hear grant, they kind of freak out with overwhelm immediately, but it really is, it's pretty straightforward and simple to apply for this one.
Yeah, it really is. It's completely online, as it's been in the past. This year, the Flint Energies Foundation has graciously given us $25,000 to give out with this program. Last year, we were able to give out 19 grants, and so we're excited to be able to do the same thing this year. So basically, our applications go live on June the 3rd on our website at flintenergies.com/bright-ideas. And from there, you'll click on the Start My Application button, and you'll create an application account through Kaleidoscope, which hosts our applications. And then you'll simply fill out that application and give us a little bit of information about you, and then submit it. And all entries that are done by our early bird deadline of Friday, September 6th, will be entered into a drawing to win a $250 Visa gift card. And we will be giving away 2 of these this year. And then our final deadline for applications is Friday, September 20th.
Fantastic. And what I'll do is in the show notes, if you're worried about getting that website link, I'm going to put that in the show notes so that all you have to do is click right on that. So don't panic if you're driving. We'll make sure that you have easy access so that you can click through to get straight to that application. So let's say the deadlines one more time just to make sure that that gets in everybody's mind. So the early bird means what exactly?
So the early bird basically means we want to encourage everyone to go ahead and get their applications in. And the reward for that is they have the chance of winning a $250 Visa gift card.
That can cover a lot of school
It
supplies.
can, and those applications are due Friday, September 6th.
Okay. And then the regular deadline, if you miss that one.
Yes, the regular final deadline is Friday, September 20th.
And if somebody says on September 21st, can I still apply?
Sorry, Charlie. Final deadline is the 20th. And
Yes.
that's important. We have to stick to that because we have to get everything in line to get all these to our judges.
Absolutely. So make sure that you do not procrastinate and wait to the last minute on that. And it really is not a bad application at all. I've seen a lot of grant applications. This one has very little red tape, which is really awesome and encouraging. But we definitely want you to get those in early, and you can get that extra Visa gift card and get you some extra help and stocking your classroom and getting what you need there. So how about some examples of some bright ideas winning projects? Can we share one or two with our listeners?
Yeah, absolutely. So last year, one of our winners from Sly County was Jill Morrison from Sly County High School. And speaking of podcast, her project was the American Literature Fake Crime Podcast. And this was for 11th grade students in her American Literature class. And what it is they use the money to purchase equipment and everything they need for students to be able to work together and to host a podcast based on information that they're reading about in their American literature class. And how that kind of promotes teamwork is that in their small groups of 3, they have to host the podcast, engineer the sound, and then one of the members portray the characters from the text. It's a really great concept, not only to learn and be to excel in the special areas that students have, but also to apply a special knowledge of what they're learning within their classes.
Yeah, that I feel like if we had that when I was in English, like a lot of things would stick a little bit more. I mean, I love to read and I love literature, but sometimes, some of those classics can be kind of hard to get through if they don't feel like they relate to you. And what a creative way for her to get them to like really immerse themselves into the literature and take that character on. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And another one to kind of go to the other end of ages that Brian Diaz hits in first grade at Morningside Elementary in Perry. Miss Alicia Parker, she submitted and won a grant for her project Camping, Road Trips, and Landmarks. Oh my. And for this, her students had a camping road trip unit where they worked in teams to plan a camping road trip across the U.S. to visit national parks and landmarks. And this allowed them to create a budget to purchase what they needed to view different U.S. landmarks and research those things. And then also, once they had planned an itinerary for the trips, they used the bebops that they purchased to code and learn map skills and cardinal directions to navigate their trip. And then at the end of the school year, they wrapped up this project by participating in an indoor camp out, imagining where their final destination led them.
That's so cool.
It's so cool. I love seeing the pictures and just everything that those teachers are doing with this grant.
Well, I mean, that just shows you the creativity that these teachers have. And that's exactly that innovative lesson plan that Blair was talking about. Like, we want to see your fun ideas. We know you've got them out there, and the kids just love it. And I mean, if you're not already following us, you need to on social media, Flint Energies on Facebook in particular. You're going to be able to see some different things throughout the summer reminding you about the Bright Ideas grant, but you may also see some little snippets of different pictures or things that previous Bright Ideas winners have shared with us so that you can see some visuals of these kids really having a great time. I really love it so much. What about tips? Do we have some tips that we can share with teachers to help them apply for the grant if this is their first time, or maybe they've applied in the past and they didn't win for some reason? What might help them out?
Absolutely. So, a couple helpful hints that we have for writing successful grants are number one, follow the directions. We ask that each one of these projects has to be a blind or submitted blindly. And basically, that means that it cannot include your name, your school, your principal's name, your mascot, any kind of information that could possibly reveal information to our judges. So we just ask that, go back and check your information, have someone else check it just to make sure that you're complying with the directions. Second one would be show how the project funded will benefit students and how it fulfills any Georgia standards or curriculums. That's always a great thing. Our judges are most of them are retired educators, so they're very familiar with Georgia standards and things that are great additions to classrooms, and they love to see those kind of things. And then another one would be to provide a good breakdown of how you will use the funds. If that means just a screenshot of your Amazon cart of what you will spend the money on, or if you want to build an Excel sheet listing quantities and explanations of what you plan to get, the more the better, because it gives our judges a better outlook on how you're going to plan to use those funds.
Yeah, we've had even links to their wish list maybe
Yes.
that they created. And I just thought that that was very clever way to easily put that out there and they can see just listed out exactly what they need to get and why they need to get it. One other question that just came to mind: what if a teacher has an idea that spans possibly more than one subject, or that they want to collaborate with someone else? Is that okay?
Absolutely. These projects can include, various subjects. I'll go back to the one at Morningside Elementary that included literacy, math, social studies, art, science, all of those type of activities that those students were able to participate in. So, like I said, really search into your creative mind of what you can possibly do and bring to your classrooms.
That's awesome. That's so much fun. Okay, so why don't we go through the high points one more time to make sure that we are leaving them with all the necessary information, where to find the application, who's eligible to apply one more time, and deadlines.
Okay, so again, the Friday Diz program, it opens on June the 3rd, and that will be at our website, flintenergies.com/bright-ideas. And then our early bird deadline is Friday, September 6th, and we'll have two $250 Visa gift cards up for grabs for those who meet that deadline. Our final deadline for applications is Friday, September 20th. But once that deadline is passed, we will accept no more. And then the Bride is Brigade will make our announcements in early November.
One other thing that I feel like we really made sure that we hit home with last year, and we saw a really good number come in, was, if you're in the rural school systems, this is for you just as much as anybody else. And we know that a lot of times our rural schools are stretched possibly even more thin than our more populated areas. And we saw a lot of rural area teachers submitting grants, and we really want to see that again this year. So please, if you are in those counties that we named and you are a rural teacher, don't think that you're not as awesome, or you don't have as many great ideas. And it doesn't have to be super super ultra creative. Like, you don't have to be building a rocket ship in your classroom in order for it to be accepted. We've seen everything, and we tell our kids that you're teaching all the time in these youth leadership programs that the worst thing that people can say is no when you apply. So please don't psych yourself out and not apply to begin with, because you definitely won't get the grant if you don't apply. We really want you to put yourselves out there and put your name in the hat, and you've got a really good shot of coming away with all the money that you need to make your idea happen in your classroom, and we can't wait to celebrate you. Is there anything else that you can think of, Blair, that we didn't cover that you want to say?
No, again, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to talk about Bright Ideas today, and we are really looking forward to seeing all of the applications that come in. And if you have any questions, you can contact me at 478-218-5547 or bbrown@flintemc.com. And Natalie will also put those in the show notes.
I sure will. So you guys look at that if you have any questions at all, and make sure that, again, you're following us on Facebook, Flint Energies, and you will get reminders. And if you put us in your favorites, you will get notifications of every time we make a post so that you don't miss a single deadline. And we can't wait to see your bright ideas come through. You guys have a great day. If you enjoyed today's podcast, we need your help. Please give us a 5-star review wherever you're listening to this podcast. It really does help us get this information out to more people about what's going on in Central and Southwest Georgia. Also, share this podcast on social media with your friends and family, because it helps get more eyes and ears on what we have going on in our fabulous communities. Thank you for joining us today. Until we chat again, I hope you get out and explore all that Central and Southwest Georgia have to offer.